Welcome to the Hopcast. I'm your host, Jeff Sherman, and I'm on board Milwaukee streetcar, the Hop. It's all about connections, it's all about community, and it's all about moving Milwaukee forward. All right, welcome to the Hopcast. We are on the route of the Milwaukee streetcar, the Hop. Today's guest, I have Omar Shaikh, restaurateur, developer, consultant, all-around passionate Milwaukeean. Thanks for taking the time, Omar.
Great to be here.
Appreciate it. A quick rundown, a little intro on Omar's background. He opened Carnivore, a steakhouse on Milwaukee Street, just a couple blocks from where we are here in 2006. Before that, other restaurants included Sakatumi, Umanimoto, Charo, Home Wood-Fired Grill. He helped revitalize the whole food and drink scene down at Bradford Beach on Milwaukee's beautiful lakefront. Today, him and his partners in this amazing space, the 3rd Street Market Hall, powered a multi-year effort to bring this back to life from the former shops to Grand Avenue, and it is truly an instrumental catalytic project in downtown Milwaukee. He also runs Wisconsin Ticket Concierge, O&B Consulting, Tuk Tuk Chicago, an electric vehicle cab service in Chicago, right?
Yeah, similar.
Okay,
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about that later. He's a board member at the Wisconsin Center District, former board chair at Visit Milwaukee, and works daily on the Home Crew Coalition, which is a big effort to keep Milwaukee Major League and to preserve Major League Baseball in our fine city and our wonderful state of Wisconsin. So, Omar, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah.
I've known you for a long time, so I appreciate the chance to talk a little bit more about everything you're doing. So, we're going to start here at the 3rd Street Market Hall. I just want to talk a little bit about the vision and all the work that went into building this space. That's a huge question for sure. But just talk about, if someone hasn't been to the 3rd Street Market Hall, how do you explain it to him or her?
I mean, it's a food hall, but we really believe it's an immersive food hall with tons of different types of experiences, and we believe some of the best culinary in the city. All local vendors, we source local from the farms, within 100 miles of here. We have a great central bar that seats about 40, 50 people, and we're growing. We have so many other things coming. We have top golf bays, private rooms, banquet spaces, just a lot of fun stuff. Video games for the kids.
All right. Yeah, it's a really good, I like the culture and the feeling here when you walk in. It's really opening and welcoming.
Yeah.
You can see the 63-year-old CEO and the 14-year-old in the same space, and that's really unique.
I mean, that's what we wanted. We really wanted this to be community, right? Wanted to create a project that Milwaukee was super proud of. If you ping the center of downtown, we're in it right now. And so a large goal of Josh and mine was, to be honest, to create for families on the weekends too. And if you come here on weekends, you'll be shocked at how many families are hanging out here for 5 hours, where the kids have a lot of activities and things to do. Nobody's fighting because everyone can get their own food, meet in one place, play games. Parents then can just sit at the bar and have fun. Yeah. And then the crowd transitions over and towards the evenings. But, for me, having kids and growing up here in the greater Milwaukee area, we've never really had anywhere to go where you can just hang out for long periods of time. You can go to a Brewers game, you can go to a Bucks game, you can go to the art museum, you can do things like that, but this is really community. Yeah.
And as you went to other cities and kind of took the good, bad, wonderful from other food halls, what did you find that other markets were doing that you're like, wow, that will work in Milwaukee, that won't work in Milwaukee? Talk about that process
We've probably toured 70 food halls throughout America.
Okay.
One thing I've learned from my partner, Josh Kuznak, is he does so much research. Yeah. It's insane. And so even during the pandemic, when we didn't travel to the food halls, we called all the food halls and just got a lot of love, and a lot of people were telling us what works, what doesn't work, if they went back in time, what they would have done. So we kind of took elements from each to really come up with what we believe is a very unique food hall in America.
Yeah, very good. All right, before we walk down Wisconsin Avenue to the streetcar stop and get on board and talk a little bit more, I want to talk about the coming soon City Fountain, which is a really innovative concept, an indoor beer garden.
Yeah.
Can we take a look?
Let's go in.
I want to talk about your vision and how it's going to work and give us a little exclusive preview.
Absolutely. Let's go take a look at it.
All right, very good. So we're in the new space, City Fountain.
City Fountain.
And it will be essentially an indoor beer garden, right?
Yep.
So talk about the concept, just give us all the details.
Well, it'd be indoor beer garden. Next summer, we're going to actually have a doorway that goes out to the alleyway. We're going to turf out, put huge screens on, and make an outdoor area with it. But the vision for this was here as the Selfie Museum kind of ran its course. Believe it or not, it was actually starting to get busier when we decided to close it.
Yeah.
But we need more seating. On the weekends, we run into problems where people can't find seating. So these are all going to be picnic tables. You're looking at a screen here that's going to drop down that's 16 by 10. So we can showcase all the games, sports, Brewers, Packers, Bucks, and all those types of things. On this side over here is going to be a 24 tap your own beer wall. So we'll be able to feature some of the best craft beers from around the state. A cooler in the back that holds all the beer.
Okay.
All these walls come down, and we're going to build an info center, kind of like an information center.
Okay.
We're going to sell merch and things like that from 3rd Street Market Hall. This is what's called a social stair on this side over here. So it's going to kind of be like bleacher type seating. People can park up their laptop. We're going to have tables there and also watch the game from here.
Okay.
A lot of picnic tables in this area. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be amazing. There's a lot of anticipation for it.
Yeah.
And honestly, believe it or not, this will be the first downtown tap your own beer wall.
Yeah. So it'll be self-serve. You'll like scan in and be able to.
Yeah, so you can buy a card and put it on the card, but we'll
Okay.
actually have at all times either a or two beer ambassadors that will
Okay.
teach you about the beer. They'll teach you how to pour. Because believe it or not, sometimes you just can't pour it right and you feel like you're wasting beer. So
Very good. All right. It's exciting. It's, Milwaukee's built on the beer garden very much so. There's such a community element to it.
Yeah.
And again, it's family oriented. Even though you got to be 21 to drink, it is a space for all to come together, and I think that's really special.
that's right. And you know what? We're seeing a lot of success with the food hall. And so a lot of the times, I hate to say this, sometimes on weekends there's 5-10 minute wait for a drink to be. So we needed to alleviate the bar a little bit over here too. So and create more space for seating. But we're super excited about City Fountain.
All right. Very
Super
good.
excited, yeah.
All right. Timeline.
End of July.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
So not too far away.
Usually now they started construction. They must be on break now or something. But
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Very good. Well, let's walk out the door, walk down Wisconsin Avenue, and jump on the streetcar.
Let's do it.
So here we are on board the Milwaukee streetcar, the Hop. Took a short walk from 3rd Street Market Hall, jumped on, and thanks again for your time. I appreciate it, Omar.
Yeah, of course.
My first question is always standard. Just give us your story.
So long story, make it short. In my late teens, I moved out to Los Angeles, wanted to kind of chase some dreams, and wanted to be a pro fighter.
Okay.
And so went out and trained with the Gracie family and accomplished that. And
That's good. All right. Keep going. This is real time.
Yeah.
That's good.
And decided that, hey, become a pro MMA fighter was great, but it really wasn't paying the bills, right? To show up for $100 back of a bowling alley and then get a $100 bonus.
Did you fight
win.
in high school? So what
No,
was that?
no. My parents never let me train martial arts. I wanted to do it my whole life. So as soon as I was old enough, I went out and did it.
Okay.
And then I came back here after 7 years, realized look, it's not paying the bills. Just need to get my education and everything else like that. So my parents will talk to me again. Finished at Cardinal Stritch University. And then just from there, just worked for a Windows roofing company. Did really well there, but the owner and I just didn't have the same type of vision. He would go out and buy a boat when we did big deals and go party, and I wanted to continue to grow the company. So went out and worked for a company called Genuity.
Okay.
And then I just decided to launch my own restaurant. Started with Sakatumi and then Carnivore, and just a ton since then, and just kind of evolved from there.
Yeah. And so, who do you credit that entrepreneurial spirit to? Is it your parents? Is it your upbringing? Like who? A mentor along the way?
No. They were always. I don't want to say take the safe route. But they were highly educated, and my father had a PhD and was a dean of professional engineering, and my sister's a doctor.
Okay.
The other one has her doctorate. And I'll just be honest with you, I wasn't smart enough to do what they did. And so I went on the route, and it was always kind of in me. Hospitality was always kind of inside of me.
Yeah, okay. So let's look back to Carnivore on Milwaukee Street that as the streetcar comes around, we'll get close to. Opened in 2006?
Yeah.
Okay. So talk about the evolution of that steakhouse and just kind of where you see the steakhouse culture going in markets our size.
Yeah, no, it started in 2006. We were incredibly expensive. Literally everyone told me not to do it. I wanted to create a really high-end steakhouse that gave incredible personalized service. And I learned from a guy that opened up about 20 Mortons. He came on as one of my operations directors out of the gates. So I kind of took their playbook, but also personalized it in ways that I think we do things that nobody else does. And we'll go out of our way for the customer. It's like, great, you have all these athletes, you have CEOs, but what about that family that saves up and comes in for their birthday or anniversary? We want to make them feel a certain way, so they go out and tell 100 people how great and how we made them feel, right? Because it's all about how you make people feel.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. Chefs will tell you it's all about the food and the quality of food. That's great, but if you give them service that feels rude or unattentive and whatever else, they'll never come back.
Yeah. Yeah, the two have to play together. And I think, there's a culture at Carnivore. I'd say, like, you have the suit and tie at one table, and you really could have shorts and t-shirt at another table. I mean, is that intentional from a design
100%.
standpoint?
So for me, I wanted to give the elements of fine dining where you get incredible food, incredible service, which we call Swarm, great wine, the whole works. But I didn't do tablecloths. I don't play Frank Sinatra. I play whatever upbeat music there is.
Right.
And I want everyone to come in there feeling comfortable. So I don't want it to be, there's no dress code. That's half the time I'm wearing a t-shirt or whatnot. And I want everyone that comes in there to feel comfortable, because I don't want that snooty or bougie vibe. I just want people to really enjoy themselves and come in and have a great meal.
I'm not going to walk in and be handed a Navy sport coat that I have to put on. Like, it's not that kind of place.
No. I mean, you see people wearing t-shirts, you see people wearing suits, and they're meshing well, and everybody understands you can wear a baseball hat backwards.
Yeah.
I don't care. As long as you're having a good time and we have a good vibe, that's all that matters to me.
Very good. All right. So you talked a little bit about the Morton's concept and learning there. Are there other concepts in your travels that you see, like, wow, hey, obviously you did the Third Street Market Hall, you've had other restaurants in the market.
Yeah.
Is there a concept that you think, like, geez, I wish this was in Milwaukee, in my hometown?
Oh, I'm not. I'd have to think about that. I think there's room for a really high-end, smaller seated sushi restaurant. I think like 20, 30 seater with some really, really, really quality fish that you import. I think there's room for that.
Yeah.
Omakase type concept.
Okay. All right. Very good. Put that on the list. So talk about your career and your challenges and your wins. Like, do you have something that stands out, like, whoa, I learned so much from this challenge or this failure? And then talk about the biggest win.
I mean, there's so many. I mean, I've had way more failures than I've had successes, to tell you the truth. But I think it shaped me to where I've gotten today, and I still don't feel fully successful. I feel like there's still so much to do. I would say the biggest win was taking over Visit Milwaukee, becoming the chairperson of Visit Milwaukee, 7 years, kind of cleaning house a little bit, bringing in a new CEO named Peggy Williams, who's phenomenal, and then doing it over at WCD and working with some friends and partners over there to kind of change over management there and leadership there, and doing a national search. Those organizations were pointing fingers at each other. Yeah. And so now they're actually working well together. We brought in a guy named Marty Brooks, who ran Madison Square Garden, National Search. Knowing that we had to bring in leadership with the both of them, that we had to win business from Milwaukee, the biggest champion deal that we've done is it's going to be completed this year, a $460 million completion of a convention center. It sat stagnant for 20 years. I can't believe leaders didn't pick it up and find a way to work with state government to get money to be able to bond out for it. But that was certainly the biggest win, I will say. The biggest win is yet to come, though, with the Brewers. Yeah. To keep the team here for generations and sign a generational type lease to keep the team here. And so we're in the middle of all that, and it has been fun. It's been a lot of up and down, and a lot of different opinions, and people finding the personal website and saying, hey, the owner should pay for this. But the thing is that in reality, like, that's not really the way it works. This is a stadium district, it's taxpayer owned. You know, the Brewers have been contributing, stadium districts contributing, the owner shouldn't pay for it all. That's not how it works. And then people will say, well, he doesn't put enough money to win a championship. Well, listen, we're 120 in payroll. We're not the Mets at $363 million, but we're not the bottom. Yeah. We're right in here. And so, you know, I think we're 20th right now. We're in first place right now. We made the playoffs 4 times in a row. Yeah. Yes, we all won a championship, but, you know, it's just the education component of this all. We're not trying to reinstate the 5-county tax, but it is critical that the Brewers stay here in our community. Yeah. It's critical to the families of all the people that work in hospitality in the surrounding areas 5-game series means that there's overnight stays in all the hotels. They really feel and appreciate the Brewers, but it's also all the people that travel from around the state, around the country that come here and spend money and pay for infrastructure.
Yeah. I mean, I worked on the lobbying effort way back when Miller Park was being built. It was the same thing. Like, there's two things in communities: sports and music, that kind of have this collective pull for everyone.
100%.
And how it gets funded, how it shapes out, that's a big discussion.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about the heartbeat of communities, those two have a lot of strength, and it takes a lot of work to make it happen.
1,000%. And when you talk about music, did you say music?
I just said music, yes.
So we were just there at the Chris Stapleton concert, George Strait's concert.
Yep.
$12 million in revenue in one day, 46,000 people. So this goes way beyond just baseball.
Exactly.
And a lot of that money generated goes up to the state.
Right.
And it gets spread throughout Wisconsin, with not a lot of it coming back to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Now that's changing because of, thankfully, all the legislator, everyone came together and did the right thing, and great times to come.
Yeah, I mean, Milwaukee's the heart of the state, and you look at, from a Brewers perspective, St. Louis Cardinal fans come. They're going to stay downtown. They're going to go back and forth. They're going to visit other communities, and that's what happens.
100%. And it's also explaining to people and people outside in upstate Wisconsin, well, guess what? All those bars are playing Brewers games. Yeah. And all those people are Brewers fans. You see them wearing Brewers jerseys. So the bars and the restaurants that are playing them, well, they're not going to, if it's all of a sudden the National Brewers, they're not going to be filling their bars watching those games.
Right, very much so. So I'd like to do a segment on the Hopcast called Moving Milwaukee Forward. And I always like to ask passionate Milwaukeeans like yourself, so you have a magic Milwaukee wand. What's your wish for the community moving forward?
I think my wish is already starting to come true.
Yeah.
Where you're seeing legislators on both sides collaborating and working together, because a lot of powerful things can happen. There's a lot of things that get done bipartisan, more than what most people know. But there's still a divide. And it's always been kind of a dream to collaborate and bring organizations and bring political people together to accomplish great things for our communities. And it's starting to happen. I mean, if you take a look at Milwaukee, we're on fire right now.
Yeah.
There are some incredible things happening.
Yeah, it's one of the first champions of the connector, which became the hop. Gary Gruno, rest in peace, always would say, "Jeff, collaborate or die." And it's true.
100%. He was a great man.
Yes,
Did incredible
without a doubt.
things.
Yes. So if someone's watching this and hasn't been to Milwaukee, how do you define Milwaukee in 3 words?
3 words. I was thinking I use 4.
Well,
better than you think. I mean, people come in here
right.
and they experience Milwaukee, from the lakes to the restaurants to the museums to everything, and the culture and how friendly we are and the hospitable we are. They're blown away. I get it all the time where people are like, "Wow, the city's way better than you think," and they want to come back here. And listen, hospitality is what separated us. We won the DNC, a major national convention. Back-to-back 3 years later, win the RNC. And why was that? It's hospitality. And it's the people that make this so different. And the friendliness and people wanting to help each other. It's a community full of love.
Yeah, full of love. Full of love. There you
Full
go.
of love.
That's
There you
3
go.
words, baby.
There you go, yeah.
All right. So from a restaurateur's perspective, obviously you go out to eat, have meetings around town and around the state. What are some of your favorites that aren't yours?
Restaurants?
Yes.
I mean, look at the food hall. They're not my restaurants. There's so many great restaurants there. There's just so many. In our family, we eat a lot of ethnic food.
Okay.
And so sushi's my favorite. We love kawa. But we also love a lot of Indian restaurants, Thai restaurants, and things of that nature. I mean, the Bartolotta restaurants we love, of course, because they're really great, high-end. But there's just so many, like Loopy that we just walked by, that new restaurant that... There's just so many great restaurants to talk about that.
Very good.
It's hard to pinpoint, one of them, but my wife used to absolutely love Crazy Water.
Okay.
But we love their new restaurant, La Dame.
Point.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. There's really a wonderful variety, especially for the city our size. There's truly something for everyone, and we're really, really blessed.
Absolutely.
Sure. So I want to talk a little bit about transit. You have a transit-oriented business in Chicago, correct? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so in Thailand, they have these vehicles that they name tuk-tuk because they're motor vehicles, so they sound like tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk.
Okay.
And so we were able to make an electric version of it. And so it's technically a motorcycle. It's 3 wheels.
Okay.
That's how they get licensed, and they transport people to and from areas. So whether it be the convention center, the hotels, you can private charter them.
Okay.
Or they're now in Soldier Field. They're now at Navy Pier to help with congestion and moving people around.
Right.
At the same time, reducing the carbon footprint. And so it's been a fun project.
Yeah. Okay. So whether it's tuk-tuk, bubbler, streetcar, bus, car, just talk about the importance of transit to communities.
I mean, it's everything, as we know. It's everything, and so it's how people get around. And I'm not one of those guys that says like, "Hey, no cars, only bicycles," because I love my cars.
Yes.
But less cars could be better, and should be better for cities.
Yeah.
And you see some successful cities that have a lot of the bike lanes and things that they do of that nature. But streetcars great. Our tuk-tuks are great, and it's just different types of transit is always a very positive thing.
Very good. All right. We talked a little bit about your Brewers Initiative. So Kristen Yelich is an investor at the 3rd Street Market Hall and a friend of yours,
In the
right?
Avenue, and other deals,
In the Avenue. So I always like to ask, what's something from a regular fan standpoint, from a player the quality of Yelich that maybe we don't understand about athletes of that caliber?
I mean, it's like, people are like, oh, they get paid a lot of money, but they are just regular people. And so, and what I don't like is a lot of the times they like desensitize them, right? And so it's like, if they are going on a slump, that's the time that we need them the most to be behind them, because they're going through things up here. So it doesn't matter if you're hurt, doesn't matter if you have mental illness, doesn't matter if you're going through a terrible divorce, doesn't matter if you're going through any of that stuff, you gotta win. You gotta play good, you're getting paid money, you have to succeed. And so it's like, I see the other side of these guys and I'm there for them. And I'm not saying that he goes through any of those problems, but come on, like a lot of the times, like some of the death threats they get when they're not hitting or they're not catching a football or whatever else it is, it's kind of disgusting to me, to tell you the truth. Like, and I get that they're getting paid a lot of money, but they are elite and work their whole lives to get to a certain point. You just see, I see the ups and downs of their lives, and it truly, like, I don't become friends with a lot of these guys because they're great at football, baseball, it has nothing to do with it. Like, he is a great human.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable how down to earth he is. He called me one time I was on vacation, and I'm just like, hey, what are you doing? I go, I'm sitting in my, at a cabana and just hanging out. And he's apologizing to me for calling me and bothering me when I'm on my vacation. I'm like, dude, you're the MVP. Like, you're a good friend of mine. Like, don't apologize to me for calling me. But that's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
All right, that's great insight. At the heart of it, we're all human beings, right? And we all have to perform, but we're all going through something, right?
That's right. And I mean, what he's done with his charity, I was the chair of his community, of his charity, and raising money to build fields, Little League fields around the greater Milwaukee area and impoverished areas. He doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
He and his family spent so much time on this, as did I. But we sold out the room, raised well over $300,000. I mean, It was an amazing event that we're going to grow next year. You don't have to do that. So it's like I told him, he's MVP to me because what he does off the field. And I'll consider it he is of people. And he's pretty unbelievable.
Nice, very good. All right, we're kind of going down to close to Burns Commons here. And I want to do some quick hops, just some quick hitting, personality-driven questions for you.
Yeah.
You reading a book right now? I always need to do suggestions.
I am not reading any books right now, to tell you the truth.
Are you a reader?
No, I'm really not.
Okay,
I'm not as much of a reader, to be honest with you, but I have read books, yes. But, I mean, I honestly I just go and listen to a lot of like Joe Rogan
podcasts.
Different podcasts and get perspectives from different peoples and great minds.
Okay.
So a lot of leaders in the country today and a lot of the CEOs, I'll listen to their podcasts.
Very good. All right. So an insider tip for somebody coming to Milwaukee for the first time.
Go to Carnivore.
Yeah.
Go to 3rd Street Market. Oh, no. I mean, there's just so many great things to experience. And honestly, like selfishly, I say that because it's downtown. But you really have to also experience the neighborhoods and the surrounding neighborhoods of Milwaukee, because that's what kind of brings culture together. There are a lot of great surrounding neighborhoods and a lot of great things to experience down here, for sure.
Very much so. So you're a Cardinal Stritch graduate. I got my MBA Cardinal Stritch many years ago.
Yeah.
Just talk about that. The school closing. What are your emotions there?
Yeah. No. I mean, that's where I met my wife. You know, and so. it was a great school, great leadership, great people. I still have some of my best friends in the world outside of the city now.
Right.
Some in Chicago that I still keep in touch with on a weekly basis. It was a special place.
Yeah.
I'll always hold a special place in my heart. But again, it's a business, and you've got to think of it as a big business and run it like a business. And so it was really unfortunate that it went down the way it did.
Yeah.
Right.
You have a favorite TV show you and your wife watch or binge? A series?
Not really. I don't have the chance to watch a ton of TV.
Yeah.
I just watched a special on Netflix. It was about some Korean people. I can't remember, and they were road rage.
Okay.
It's just not. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Is it that Beef?
Beef.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
So we just got
alright.
drawn into the show Beef. Did you see it?
I haven't seen it. I've seen it on the scroll,
You
but I haven't
have
watched
to
it.
watch it.
Okay.
It draws you in and is unbelievable. But like, we've got our famous shows. The best favorite show of all time is like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
We watch different series from time to time.
All right. So back to the steakhouse. So what's your cut of steak and how do you like it done?
Ribeye, medium rare.
All right. Very good.
Mac and cheese. Our mac and cheese is unbelievable.
Nice. All right.
And our vegetables are great. We source out of a consortium out of Chicago that uses only all local farms throughout the Midwest, and so it's called local produce. It's a little more pricey. But the quality of food is unbelievable.
Okay. All right. Come on through. We're at the end of the line. Say hi to Omar.
Hi.
right.
How you doing?
Did I hear you say UFC fighter?
I used to be an MMA fighter back in the day. So,
Excuse
yeah.
me. Hey, that's
Yeah,
what's
so
up.
thank you. Yeah, so, not really, because I have a 4-tooth bridge. My nose got broken twice. My ribs, my hands, knuckles are still. It's not a glamorous thing. I wouldn't let my kids do it.
Imagine.
Wouldn't let my kids do it.
I
Yeah.
can imagine, but it took a lot of courage to even do that. So
I look back now and I was like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, but no, I mean, it taught me a lot of what, like, listen, when you get humbled and you get knocked out and you get choked out, like, let's stop taking it to the business side of things. And I'm ultra competitive.
Yeah.
It's just a different thing. Like, if I don't get along with you, I can't choke you out and throw you to the ground.
Yeah.
I have to beat you in a different way these days.
That's right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
awesome. Nice meeting
Thank you. Nice to meet you,
All
too.
right. Thank you. All right.
That's right.
Well, and that's a perfect segue to the next question. Just what's your piece of advice for someone wanting to open up a restaurant or a business in any community?
I mean, to be an entrepreneur, and I'll just be honest with you, I think I posted something today about it. Like, you have to overcome a lot of odds, right? You have to beat the big businesses.
Yeah.
You have to reach a customer base that is hard to reach, wide stream customer base these days. You have to run it where the increased costs and run it where you're actually making a profit and turning a profit through, which is really difficult to do in the first year. You have to be certifiable in some ways to want to be an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And then to do it over and over and have 6 companies like today, like you have to be kind of crazy because it's a lonely world sometimes and there's a lot of doubt and you have to overcome all those types of things. And at the same time, then when you start to see those successes, there's people that just hate you. And so on Twitter, you see people come at me, or I'm always trying to do the right thing, and I've always been good to there's nobody out there that can say I screwed him over. Right. There's not one person, because I've always paid him when I probably shouldn't have, but I really don't think there's anybody out there that can say that I did him wrong, right? But I will tell you, on Twitter, people will come at you and destroy your life. You can't swing back. So take the high road, be willing to just live your life in full of work, but also understand there's got to be a balance too.
Yeah, very good.
It's not easy. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to be at a certain level, want to be a leader, and want to be, that very influential person to move, but they're not like really willing to put in a ton of work, give up a lot of their life, go through the ups and downs, like where you're just done with it, and then you get a good night's sleep and you feel like you're okay. This is like real grind, and so stay away from the people that are crazy motivated that don't want to put in the work.
That's
those are the dangerous. Those are the dangerous ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my final question is always to ask people to define success. And you may have just defined it a little bit, but what's the definition of success for you, Omar?
Success to me it comes in a lot of forms. Success to me is when my kids grow up that they want to spend time with me. Success to me is that I'm shaping their lives, my wife and I, and that they go out and do what they want to do and accomplish their dreams, and that they're happy. Success, I've never been money driven, ever. I've never been money driven. Success for me is that you're able to move the meter and improve lives of all those around you. And success for me is going in and understanding other cultures and other areas and making a difference within those communities, right? So it's like, there's a lot of people that will talk about, oh gosh, this guy hit my car, it's been the worst day ever. No, it's not. There's no bad days.
Right.
There's bad moments.
Yes.
And as adults, we've got to be able to come over those moments, right? And then turn our perspective around to be positive the rest of the day. You cannot say you have a bad day in my life, in my kids, in my family. That's the way I look at things. I just toured a group home the other day. They have 6 kids there that are fed through the county. And, you know, they come from sexually abused or they're physically abused, and they can't go back to their houses. So they come into the system of the county. They live in a group home. This group home will take them to and from school and things of that nature. But listen, these kids never had a shot or an opportunity, a chance that maybe you and I have had.
Right.
I grew up in a 2-house, you know, loving household, right?
Yeah.
And so it's about perspective. Now, it's, for me, I don't want to help the big organizations anymore. It does mean, I don't want to do a capital campaign. I've
Right.
done that. You and I have done
Yeah,
that.
right.
I want to take these 6 lives, and I want to get involved in this organization. I want to take them to sit in the owner seats of Brewers games. I want to take them to Carnivore. I want to shape them. I want to mentor them. I want to actually be part of their life.
Right.
Because guess what? We can make a difference with a smaller amount of lives and really touching lives. When you do a capital campaign, I don't know where that money goes.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but if you can, if any of us leaders that have the means to do it and have had the time to like really think about things, and you could shape 1 or 2 lives, then we've done our part.
Yeah.
And just 1 or 2 lives, because you're not going to shape 100 lives. We have our own kids and our own battles and everything like that. But if you can make a difference with a smaller organization and shape 1 or 2 lives, that's what it's about.
Very good.
Sorry, that was a long-winded answer.
That was great. That mentorship, community connections. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And well, this has been a great moment. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day
Yeah.
to ride the streetcar.
My
and be on
guy,
the
man, I was
Hopcast,
going to
so
take time for you,
it's
man.
all right.
What
Great.
he's done for the city is amazing.
Well,
amazing.
Same way
amazing.
back to you. Collaborative guy, making the city work each and every day. Get downtown, the heart of the state of Wisconsin. The Hopcast, we're on YouTube. It'll be on all the social channels. Omar, Shaikh, Carnivore, 3rd Street Market Hall, here in beautiful downtown Milwaukee, on board the Milwaukee Streetcar. Thanks for watching.
Awesome.